Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking a completely sweeping cinematic journey through a deeply fascinating ancient cosmology. We're going to explore the creation of the universe's luminaries, the sun, moon, and stars, by synthesizing biblical texts, the Book of Enoch, and historical Zetetic astronomy, which, if you didn't know, is a 19th century flat Earth model. Now, this isn't just a dry list of events. No way. It's an epic, highly structured narrative about a completely enclosed, purpose-built cosmic architecture. It's a journey that literally redefines the very nature of the sky right above us. Okay, let's dive into this. Picture it. What actually existed before the first sunrise? Before the very first shadow ever touched the deep, before civilizations or even time itself as we know it, there was just the eternal void. The source texts describe a universe that was completely unformed, completely timeless. There were no burning galaxies floating in some vast emptiness. There were literally only the infinite primordial waters and the spirit of the Creator moving silently over the face of the deep. Just think about that. A cosmos just waiting for a voice. And then that voice spoke, and it spoke with absolute authority. But the light that burst forth here on the very first day, it wasn't sunlight. Actually, scratch that. The sun didn't even exist yet. The source material describes this as primordial glory. It's this pure, golden, liquid crystal radiance of the Creator himself. This light just exploded into existence, illuminating the deep long, long before any heavenly body like a star or a moon was ever formed. In this ancient view, the Creator himself was the light. He established the very principle of illumination right then and there. Moving on to Section 1, the crystalline cathedral, we're going to look at the architecture of heaven. So, with the light established, the narrative totally shifts to the grand divine engineering of the physical cosmos, the ultimate staging ground. Now, in this model, the firmament is definitely not just some expanse of empty space. Instead, it's described as a massive, solid, crystalline dome. The Creator stretched this magnificent structure out specifically to divide the heavenly waters above from the earthly waters below. It essentially acts like this palatial living cathedral suspended directly over the beautiful, fixed, flat plane of the earth. So we're not talking about chaos here. It's a meticulously measured, perfectly engineered, sacred temple. And this brilliantly illustrates the profound difference between the events of day 1 and day 4. On one hand, you have the uncontained, pure, spiritual light of God's own glory. But contrast that with what we see happen on the 4th day. The Creator appointed specific, governing lights, the sun, the moon, the stars, and placed them directly inside that solid firmament dome. These were mechanical, predictable servants created specifically for us, for humanity. They were designed to be rulers over time, measuring out our days, our seasons, and our years. Which brings us to Section 2, the golden circuit. It's time to introduce the greater light, marking the ignition of the divine clock of creation. In this cosmology, the sun is this blazing sphere of golden fire, just bursting with purposeful energy. The ancient Hebrew word used here is tekopha, which means a revolution or a circuit. The sun is beautifully described as a dynamic bridegroom, stepping out of his chamber and eagerly running a race. It sweeps its molten gold warmth across the fixed flat earth in a highly regulated, mechanical, circular path. The key takeaway here? The sun moves above the earth itself does not move. Let's look at how this builds into just an incredible celestial clockwork. According to the Book of Enoch, this circuit is definitely not random. The sun's path is actually governed by this breathtaking architecture at the outermost edges of the firmament. It emerges from one of 6 specific eastern portals, sweeps across the sky, and then enters one of 6 western portals. As the year goes on, the sun literally shifts through these specific physical gates, and that mechanical precision, that is exactly what creates our changing seasons, our days, and our years. It's like a giant, beautiful clock. Okay, Section 3, the lesser light, and its translucent majesty. After all the blazing energy of the day, we're going to lower the energy slightly. Because from the heavenly darkness emerges the serene, silver majesty of the moon. So the crucial point is that the moon, the lesser light, is not just some pretty decoration up there in the night sky. In these texts, it's a powerful ruler. It has vast authority over the earthly realm beneath the dome. It dictates the sacred calendars and ancient feasts. It literally, physically controls the breathing tides of the great waters. It governs the ecology of night creatures, nurtures the precious agricultural fruits of the earth, and even acts as a prophetic sign. It's doing a lot of heavy lifting. Now, prepare to have your mind blown for a second. Based on historical zealotic astronomy and really careful textual analysis, this explainer highlights a fascinating view. The moon is not a solid, opaque rock reflecting the sun's light. No way. Instead, it's considered a self-illuminating, semi-transparent luminary. These historical observers actually noted that moonlight has a cooling effect. It literally drops the temperature of objects, which is the exact opposite of reflected sunlight. Plus, proponents argue that during certain eclipses, stars have reportedly been seen shining right through the moon. For them, this proves it possesses its own unique, translucent, and cooling glory. Wild, right? Moving on to Section 4, the host of heaven, the living stars. As we look past the moon, our narrative shifts from the mechanical operation of the luminaries to a deeply spiritual, awe-inspiring revelation. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that in this ancient cosmology, stars are absolutely not distant burning balls of hydrogen gas floating in a vacuum. They are explicitly described as the living host of heaven. They're fiery, angelic beings who actually witnessed the creation of the world and sang together in joy. Think about that. The stars you see at night, in this view, they are luminous entities actively maintaining their appointed stations within the firmament. And this magnificent celestial hierarchy is broken down into very specific ranks. Right at the top, you have the seraphim, the burning ones made of intense, fiery light. Then the cherubim, described as living stars of fire. Just below them are the watchers. These are holy beings stationed at fixed observation points in the heavens. And governing the whole shebang are the archangels. Ancient texts even specifically name the archangel Uriel as the one who actively governs the portals of the firmament, maintaining the sacred clockwork of the millions of luminous beings we just call stars. Section 5, Eternal Radiance and the Final Light. Because you see, this magnificent clockwork universe is not the end of the story. We're now transitioning to the final act of this narrative, revealing the temporal, finite nature of this grand, enclosed system. Here's the thing. The sun, the moon, and the stars, they're only temporary servants. They were appointed specifically for this present age, just for humanity's benefit. Ultimately, the text prophesy that their circuits are going to cease. The chambers of the sun and moon will be completely emptied. The universe is going to come full circle, returning to that primordial state of day one. That eternal, uncontained radiance of the Creator himself will once again be the absolute only light filling all things. So we end with this really provocative thought. This cosmology presents a world that is intimately enclosed, perfectly engineered, and absolutely teeming with living, purposeful light. If every sunrise, every single moonlit tide, and every burning star is part of a grand, living testimony suspended just above us, what are they telling us tonight? I really hope this explainer leaves you wanting to step outside, look up at the architecture of the night sky, and explore the whole thing with completely new eyes.